Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our first module of customer service training. And today we are going to begin with understanding what customer service is, that is, redefining customer service and learning what we need to do to be better customer service representatives so as to give quality services. So let's get started. Now, who is a customer? Well, it's very important for us to begin to understand who a customer is. Now, this is a client, a buyer or a purchaser, or a potential buyer of goods or services. And this may be in an organization or in a business. The business may be home-based, organizational-based. So this refers to a current or potential buyer who will be a current and potential user of products and services. They may also be called suppliers, sellers, and vendors. So as we go through the customer service training, think of a customer in a broad spectrum. That is the customer who comes for your service, and an organization as a customer to your organization. Those are customers as well. And your suppliers of your goods and services, the ones who promote your goods and services, and vendors as well. Now, a customer is also someone who is also renting, purchasing goods and services. So there may be times whereby a customer is not coming to purchase an item to keep, but basically just to temporarily get that good to use it for a while and then return it. And those are especially services and products as well. For example, in a car rental company, you may have a customer coming in to rent a car or lease a car. So remember, that is renting. Or renting a house, renting an apartment, renting a condominium, renting a boat. What else can we rent? Try and think of some other things that you can rent. There are so many things that you also as a customer do also rent as well or lease. So remember, that is also a customer as well who's coming to rent anything from you. And don't only think in terms of purchasing only. Remember that a customer is anyone who uses or experiences the services or the products. Remember, sometimes when you are in an expo, for example, and you are displaying your services, an expo is whereby companies come to showcase their services and their goods so that they can create new clientele, or just it's a means of advertising what they are having as goods and services. So the experience like situation that the customers have during that expo really determines if there will be future potential customers or immediate customers. I remember a time when I went to a technology expo last year, and there were various companies showing different technology products. It was for teachers. And we had those who had like blackboards, we had those who are selling cases for laptops, we had those who are selling different types of softwares, and how they allowed the customers who are the teachers and the students to experience their products determined and changed the attitudes of the teachers and the students on how the products were used. That is, if they had previously found the product difficult to use, when they experienced how the product is used, that changed their attitude. And positive change of the attitude resulted of people, the teachers, the students asking how much did the service cost, how much did the product cost, and this was only drawn from the experience they had. So it's very important to look into the experience that the customers are having when using your services or trying out your services. A customer is also a viewer of the products or service that is being sold despite deciding not to buy them at all. Now we'll be moving on from the previous point we just said, experiencing. So someone may be just looking at the products. For example, a customer is shopping around for a new phone. And let's say you work for Apple or you work for Samsung, and you do have a local store whereby the customer can come in and check on the products and see what variety you have, what style, the design, and they just want to see what the product is. So how you present that product and how much they are allowed to ask questions about the product will determine if the customer will come back to buy that product. Why is that? Will that determine that? This is because the more the information the customer gets, the more they are willing to invest in a product or a service. So remember, the viewer who just window shops, is very important that you provide quality customer service. And remember that that is also a customer. I know sometimes you do have, like for example, in a call center, a customer just calls in, oh, I just want to know, what you have, what products you have. And they may ask like in a dismissive way, or they're really not coming in to buy. And sometimes the customer service representative may feel discomfort or unhappy because they are not making any sale. But informing the customer and you understanding that that is a potential customer will help you develop a strategy of responding to the questions and the inquiries of that customer, because you do have in mind that this is a potential customer or an immediate customer. As you are all aware that first impressions count. So how you communicate with this viewer of products or tester of a product will really determine if they will be a future customer. Customer care and customer service also involves putting systems in place to maximize your customer satisfaction with your business. Now, what systems are we talking about here? These are policies and procedures for providing customer service. For example, most areas that provide customer service and most organizations or departments that provide customer service, they do have a protocol on how to begin a conversation with the customer and how to end that conversation. They do also have systems on how to handle simple problems and how to handle complex problems. For example, if it's a complex problem, do we need to have a supervisor? And if a supervisor will need to handle that customer, what are the steps to be taken to transfer the call or transfer the problem to the supervisor? And how will the customer be alerted that the problem is going to be resolved by somebody else? So that's a system already there. You need to know the step-by-step measures to take to handle that complex situation. There are also systems on refunds, systems on shipping, systems on handling grievances due to poor customer service. Remember, you're dealing with people, and sometimes the customer may claim that they have received poor customer service. So you will need to develop a system on how to resolve that problem so the customer receives their satisfaction and their needs are met. Secondly, it is important to realize that sales and profitability rely on ensuring your customers are happy. And sales is repeated service or repeated sale of a goods. So remember, unhappy customers equals no sales, equals no profit, equals bankruptcy or shutting down your business or service provision business. So remember, high sales, happy customers. That includes profitability, growth, adding more clientele, expanding your business. It is the client's perception of how well you supply these goods and services that determines the quality of customer service you are providing in that department, in that area of selling goods or services. So whenever you are talking to a customer and how the conversation is going on as you talk to the customer, always have at the back of their mind, what are they thinking? What do they think I'm telling them? Are they understanding what I'm saying? So have that at the back of your mind, because the perception of the customer really determines the customer service experience that the customer is having. You may perceive that you are providing quality customer service, but the customer does not even understand what you're talking about. So in this instance, you have to make sure that you are talking in a way that you can be clearly understood, and the customer is showing appreciation or understanding of what is being said. They are understanding the process involved in the providing of the services or in the transaction of the goods. And from the beginning to the end, they have no doubt that they're getting quality service. So there are various ways we can measure customer service, and it is important to understand this. Customer service can be measured qualitatively and quantitatively. Now, quantitatively, that comes from the word quantity. So, for example, quantitatively, we may look like in terms of volumes. How many customers are we getting? How many return customers are we getting? That's an example. For example, if this week we had a total of 90 customers who bought our Microsoft software, and the week before we had 80 customers who bought the Microsoft software, so we can see the increase of the number of customers and the increase of sales and the volume of customers we've had from 80 to 90 shows that there is an increase in number of customers. So that could be presumed to be a measure of quality service provision by the customer service representatives. Now, qualitatively, this is a little bit different. Qualitatively is quality customer care. Now, this is where evaluation of the calls, evaluation of communication, the communication skills being used, verbal and non-verbal skills. We analyze that to determine, are we offering quality customer service? What tone of voice is being used by the customer service representatives? How long are they taking to resolve a simple problem, resolve a simple transaction, and resolve a complex transaction? So we need to take a look at that as we evaluate the qualitative aspect of customer care. So further explanation of qualitative measurement of customer care include Use of qualitative data that cannot be measured numerically, as I said, the tone of voice, and how long it takes to resolve a problem, dead air, those are not measured numerically. The qualitative measurements also seeks to find out quality of service given, and this may be through like reviews, the reviews that the customers write down in your website, or the feedback they get survey after they have communicated or they've finished the call with the customer service representative. And also maybe interviews. We do have some companies who later in person call the customer just to evaluate the customer service experience and find out if they are happy or unhappy with the service. Others may get like an online survey form to fill in. For example, rate the quality of service given from 1 to 5, 1 being very poor and 5 being very good. And they will rate that. And then they may be asked after that question, why do you give that particular rating? And they'll give that. Now that will be able to measure give the quantitative measurement of the customer service. It also seeks to find out what customers think about the products that have been sold. Was the general thinking, was it positive? Was it negative? Some customers have a lot of knowledge of products that are being sold, even though they do not own the services or the products being sold. So it is important to listen to these customers and get to understand how they need the services improved and what needs to be added as an additive to those services for better customer experience. Qualitative customer service also is measured by looking at the efficiency of the staff. How knowledgeable are they about the services that are offered? What do they think about the customers? Are we well training these customer service representatives to do their job? Do they understand the protocols involved? Do they understand how the metrics are used to measure the qualitative customer service provision? So we need to make sure that the customer service representatives are aware about what is expected of them. And measurement of qualitative service of customer service, because we also see what customers think about the pricing strategy in comparison to other company products or services. So that can be used to measure the quality. An example is if a customer is saying, for example, oh, I heard that service A is providing the service for $150 and you are providing $200. That is so expensive. Now, if you hear several customers saying the same narrative over and over again, then it is time to think about doing a survey and looking out and seeing, are we overpricing our products? And how do we need to improve the service? So all those comments that the customers giving, pricing, how the prices have constantly increased over time, how they are comparing your company to other company is important because it helps you measure your quality service provision with other companies that also provide the same services, and you're able to devise a strategy for a competitive advantage in the market to get more customers and retain existing customers. Now, quantitative customer service is measured using different ways. As I said earlier, the number of services requested, the number of services booked as well. An example of the number of services booked can be in the hotel business. For example, if we do have a high number of customers who are booking the hotel rooms, every month, and we do have that number every month, we can be able to see that the customers are enjoying our services, and if they are repeat customers, they are enjoying what we do. And also the number of service requested. We can, for example, if you own an auto mechanic shop and the customers are always requesting for a particular service, so you can be able to know if they are constantly coming for particular services because they understand and believe that you are giving good quality customer care and good customer service. That's why they're coming for the same service in your business or in your organization. We can also measure qualitative customer service and customer care by the quantity of products sold, the efficiency of treatment timing. Now, the efficiency of treatment timing mainly entails how long do you take to service or to provide services to each customer, and how long do you take to complete a transaction with a customer. Most companies have a set time limit for every customer service representative talk time, or how long they should take to communicate with each other. For example, in a call center, most call centers, for a regular simple call, it's 6 minutes. You should be able to have finished everything that needs to be done. The customer is satisfied, the transaction is complete, and the customer move on to the next customer. So it's important to have efficient timings. Qualitative customer service is also measured by the pricing of the products. Are they too high, or is it low pricing? And also the pricing of the services as well. How high are your services? How high are your products? How high is the quality of the pricing of those services? It's very important to look into that as well. Now, I want us to listen to a video here of how I was seduced by exceptional customer service. This is a video from TED Talks, and the presenter here is telling us how they were wowed by the experience. And I want us to take in a few notes from this and listen and understand how attitude really affects the quality customer service, and the attitude that the customer has affects quality customer service. So here we go. All right, that was a very good video. Just the person telling us of how they enjoy the customer service. As you can see, is a basic summary of what we've all talked about. That is, good quality customer service results in repeat customers. So it's very important, very, very important to make sure the service you give at the very first time, that very first impression, will go ahead and encourage the customer to come to the store again or to come for the service again. Now we're going to move on with our class. Now, is customer service a lost art? Does customer service really exist? Is it fading out? Are people really happy about the customer service? So as you think about if customer service is a lost art, let's look at why is it that when we actually do receive excellent customer service, it makes us such an impression on us that we usually choose to go back. What is it that makes us go back? Is it the service? Is it the attitude? Is it the impression we get? Is it the design that the office has been built? What really makes us go back? So let's think about that for a bit. And as we think about that as well, it's so important that the customer should be placed as a first priority. Customer comes first. The customer is first. The customer is not always right. I know there's that saying that the customer is always right, but the customer is not always right. But the customer should be given a priority. So remember, if you do not take care of your customer, remember there are different kind of customers. There are those window shopping, that's those who just want to experience the goods and services, or there are those who would like just to see what's going on in the store. They are just passing by. If you do not take care of those different types of customers, somebody else will. Somebody else will pick up the slack, go ahead and provide the best customer service. They may not be the best goods or the top-notch quality goods, but that service and the customer that you care will make all the difference and retain that customer. Now, I want us to listen to another video, which is basically describing the difference between customer service and customer experience. And I want us to pay close attention to the difference, the two. And I don't want to explain much about it, and we'll go ahead and discuss this video after we hear it. So let's go ahead and listen to it. All right, so that is basically the video trying to explain the difference between customer service and customer experience. I'm sorry I stopped the video of some time because that was basically an advertisement of his business, which is very important to him. But for the sake of our class, we are mainly focusing on the difference between customer service and customer experience. And what is the takeaway we get from that video? Customer service is reactive. We are reacting to a situation. We are reacting to the way the customer is responding to us or the way they are talking about our goods and services. But customer experience is proactive. You go ahead and think about, what does the customer want? What will make the customer feel special? What am I doing to make that call, that customer service experience memorable? How am I communicating with this customer? Am I showing interest in the customer? So you're going above and beyond the regular provision of services, the regular conversation, to create the experience so the customer enjoys communicating with you and enjoys just being with the company. So that's the experience there. Something else we have discovered is customer service is important and that customer experience is dependent on the customer service. So if you provide good customer service, the customer enjoys the customer service, they are treated well, they more go ahead and move on to having a positive customer experience, and from the customer experience, that's where you retain customers. It's not just an issue of get in, get out, provide the service, they're gone. The customer experience is creating a platform whereby the customer knows that they are being taken care of, that the company or the service provider is being proactive in ensuring that the customer is getting continuous goods and services. I like the way he gave an example about evaluating what the customer buys from their accounts and looking at the customer buying trend and going ahead and giving suggestions of services and products that they can future buy. And you find that especially in e-commerce, for example, like Best Buy and Amazon. If they see that you frequently buy a particular kind of product, they always put in suggestions there. A page where, or right below the product, of items that you may think, and they sometimes highlight this, you may look at this and this and this product as well, or other people viewed this and this and this particular product as well. So that's the customer service experience. You're making it easy for the customer to enjoy their shopping, to enjoy the buying of the goods and services. So that's the major difference between customer service and customer service experience and the customer experience. So I would like you to later on, after this part of the module, to go ahead and look at that video again and try and see what else do you derive from that difference between customer service and customer experience, and how is it important to you as a customer service provider. Now we will go ahead and move on to the slide. Now these are ways of improving customer service. There are various ways of improving customer service, and the first one, the very general one, is smile. Smile. Did you know that a customer can tell even when you're talking over the phone if you're smiling? If you're frowning, it comes out in your voice projection. So remember, smile, relax during the conversation. Secondly, listen. Listen to what the customer is saying. Do not overtalk or predict what the customer is saying. Don't be too pushy for information. If you see that the customer is reluctant to provide information, request permission to ask for that information. For example, the customer may come in and say, "Hello, my name is Caroline, and I want my services disconnected now." So when you see the customer did not give a lot of information, you do not know what their account is, you do not know who their full name is, you may need to verify the account, to verify the person who is communicating to you, and if they are the ideal or the real account holder. So when you are asking for that information, you may go ahead and say, "Okay, Caroline, thank you for calling. But before we proceed further, is it okay if I ask you a few questions to be able to access your information?" Now, the customer wants to say that the customer is alert, or like, "Oh, this person is listening. They are listening to me first and foremost. They did not just presume that I do have an account there." And also remember that some softwares in some call centers or service and customer service provision companies, once a particular number is associated to an account and it rings in, it pops up the account for the particular customer. And some customers already know that. They know that that does happen. So if, for example, the customer service representative assumed, "Okay, this customer is called Caroline, the account popped up. Okay, how may I help?" Then they went ahead and asked, "How may I help you today?" And some customers can be very witty. They can ask you, "I didn't tell you my full name. I didn't tell you my account details. What do you have there?" So you have to be very careful. Don't sound too pushy. Don't assume anything. Request for permission to ask more information. It is important to also have phone etiquette. And using of phone etiquette is use of "kindly," "please," "may I," "could you kindly repeat that," "I am sorry, I did not understand what you said," "Thank you, I appreciate that," "That was great, thank you for that information," "That is awesome." So the phone etiquette, the use of kind words, your voice intonation, comes a long way in improving customer care. Secondly, and you need to make sure that the customers feel important, that they are really wanted. It was not a bad day for you to take that call, because sometimes the customer may call in and some customer service representatives are dismissive, like, "Why is this person calling now? Oh, another call, another person today." And when they are trying to ask for information, they may sound so pushy. So make sure the customer feels important. An example is, "Hey, hi, thank you for calling. I do see you've been with us for 50 years. Thank you so much for being a valued customer." And you can also be proactive by giving suggestions to what you see in the account. "Oh, Mr. John, I just wanted to let you know that I do see there's a pending payment in your account, and I just want to make sure you know that." So they say, "Oh, they are really being taken care of. You're really interested in making sure they're getting the best quality service. They are up to date with how their account is running and how everything is going on." So make them feel important, make them feel wanted, make them feel that you are happy to be there to serve them. The next thing is always say thank you. Always say thank you for information that they have given you, even though you already have it. Always say thank you, even they'll be calling this over and over again. The word thank you comes a long way in maintaining a peaceful communication between you and the customer. Also appreciate customer feedback. And the feedback may be positive or negative. The feedback can be at the end of the call or can be during the call. For example, when you're communicating with the customer will say, "Oh, you speak too fast." Or, "I am so tired with how the services are being provided. The technician has been into my house 5 times." Do you hear me? 5 times. And when you hear the customer talking like that, respond in a gentle way, affirming that you have heard the complaint. For example, "Thank you, Mr. John, for calling. I am so sorry that you've been having the problem with the technicians coming to your home. I will take that feedback and go ahead and document it and give it to the supervisor in charge of those technicians. We appreciate that feedback that you're giving to us. It has been recorded and noted." And then you go ahead and resolve the problem. So that's an example of when customer is giving feedback over the phone. The feedback may also be through the website, and it is important to have representatives taking care of the feedback received from the customers. Is someone responding to their feedback with a positive or negative? And if it is negative, you go ahead and give proactive measures or measures to take care of the problem. It could be who you can refer them to call, or go ahead and provide them with the information they need to resolve the problem. So it's important to appreciate the feedback, both positive and negative. And then give a little more to a customer loyal to you. Remember the video we just watched on the difference between customer service and customer experience. And he was talking about the loyalty programs that different organizations have. For example, American Express, they do have the VIP cards and other programs. So look for ways on how you appreciate the loyalty. It can be a discount. It can be buy this, get one free. So it's very important to maintain that loyalty and make sure that the customers realize that you do say they are repeat customers. They are constantly coming to you for the same products or for different products as well. Other companies go as far as even Christmas cards, calendars for the following year. So look for ways and even talk to your company to look for ways on how they can show appreciation for loyal customers. And as I said, make sure the customers are aware that you care. And also seek ways to reward long-term customers for their loyalty, as we are talking about. We've already talked about that. And take time to acquaint yourselves with your customers, that they are not more than just a number or a name. And the video we just watched on giving the difference between customer service and customer experience, he gave a very good example on how you talk to the customers. Like, "Hey, how are you doing? How is your day today?" "Oh, thank you, Mr. John. I do see you've been with us for a long time. Thank you, we appreciate that." So make the conversation not so robotic, even though you are trying to resolve issues and you're trying to follow the policies. Make sure that the customer is seen to be valued as a human being. Now, when you're talking about maintaining customers online, respond to emails quickly. Now, that means as soon as the emails come in, It should be within a 24-hour turnaround. All the emails should be responded for that particular day. Then personalize the emails. Don't write a generic email even though it's the same information to all the clients. For example, if it's an email just highlighting on to the customers on the recent changes you made to your store or the provision of services due to the COVID-19, make sure the emails are personalized, and you can use a template that helps you configure the section for the name, then make sure it's attached the list of the names of the clients, so that when as the emails are generated, each email is personalized and has the name of the client. So personalize those emails and solve the customer's problem. Do not hang up on the customer. Do not dismiss the customer's concern or problem. It may sound very simple to you, but to the customer, it may look very complex. And it is the duty of you as a customer service representative to resolve that mystery of the complexity of that problem and break it down to a way the customer can understand and have the problem resolved. Something else you need to do is anticipate what the customer needs to know when they are asking the questions online. I know sometimes we do have the question and answer section, which has like simple steps and guidance to guide the students, so that the customers, maybe students or anybody else, to solve their problems. So it's good to have that question and answer session with the generic answers for different problems. But as you talk to the customer, also anticipate what the customer needs. Go above and beyond what is expected of you when resolving the customer problems. And handle the customer queries positively and concisely. Make sure that the exact problem that the customer calls in has been resolved. Also, be very honest. Be honest with the customer. Let's say, for example, a customer is calling in concerning a particular part they need. Do not tell the customer that the part or the item is available when it's not available. Just be pretty honest with the customer. Tell them, for example, I'm so sorry you require this item, but currently it is not available. If you do have a specific time of when it will be available, go ahead and inform the customer. And make sure that you give the right time frame. Don't estimate or give your own opinions on when that item will be available at that time. Make sure that you give information about that. If you're not sure, or the company has not yet made a decision on when the item will be available, tell the customer that you're still waiting for feedback on when the item will be available. So why do customers care? Why is it important to have customer care? First and foremost is to then generate repeat customers. Remember that good customer care matters because keeping existing customers is easier than finding new ones. And as you remember the video we just watched, an existing customer is an indirect salesman or saleswoman for your business, and they will go ahead and advertise the business for you, so you will save a lot of money on sales and marketing. So remember that repeat customers also create new customers for you. Customer care also helps in increasing sales. Dissatisfied customers spread bad news, talk negatively about their services and your products, can sue you. Remember, they can sue for damages, and that results in ruining your business, decrease of sales, decrease in profits, and that unfortunately may even lead to closure of your business. So remember, good care for customers increase sales. And good customer care also helps us in getting referrals, recommendations from friends, acquaintances, and from those same friends and acquaintances, they bring other friends and acquaintances. So the customer list generates itself continuously because of referrals, and that's the way the business grows. For example, if a senior citizen has a problem fixing their computer and they get a customer service representative who is very good at guiding them through of resolving a small problem that we don't even have to have the technician out, and they're so happy about that, they'll go ahead and tell their fellow friends who are senior citizens, their children, their grandchildren, their great-grandchildren. So you already have a large client base just from one person. So it's very important to make sure that we maintain quality service for these referrals. And good customer care also helps build relationships, nurture relationships, and help us to keep the business flowing and get constant recommendation from others. Remember, relationships take time to be built, and it's from the good relationships that you're able to have long-lasting customers who may stay with us for 20, 30 years or a lifetime with us. And how is that created? Through relationships, how you communicate to them, how you show you care, how you share you are monitoring what they are buying that is good quality, that you will give them at the after service. Just follow up and make sure that the product worked, it's doing great. If it's an item that they bought, it's working very well, it's compatible with whatever they were trying to use it with. That relationship helps the customer know that they are wanted, and that is what builds and retains your customer client list. Remember that people react to the way they are treated and act accordingly. Remember, as I said at the very beginning, impressions count. So it is very important to keep in mind that how you treat someone, they'll react positively or negatively. If they are treated well, they want to come back as a customer. If they're not treated well, they will frown on the business, detest your services and your goods, and go to somebody else. So with this in mind, it is important to think why a customer is rude, why a customer is angry, and are communicative when they come to you for services or products. Remember, the problem may not be from your service provision or your products. It may be from somewhere else, or someone who has similar services or products that you have to the ones that you have. So as they are communicating to you, try and understand why are they rude, why are they angry, why they are communicative, what's going on here. And as you try to understand what they're thinking, you should ask yourself several questions. Are they getting the customer? Am I getting the customer reaction that I deserve? Are they getting the service that they deserve? Am I the representative treating them like at fault, or is there an instance where they were treated by a previous customer service representative badly, or they have had some problems with customer service representatives there? So think about all that. Why is the customer acting the way they are, and what can I do to improve the situation? That's the most important one. Resolving the situation. What can I do to improve this situation? We want to ask that and resolve that as well. So it is important to know that the value of getting the customer in the first place must never be overlooked. It is important to know that always try to ask any questions from your customers as soon as possible, or as they get comfortable talking to you. Go ahead and ask the questions. Make sure they feel that they are talking to a professional, that there's someone who's knowledgeable about the services and the products, they know what they are doing. And remember that the first impressions always count. This may be an in-person customer visit or over the phone. And we have come to the end of Introduction to Customer Service. We have defined what customer service is. We have defined what is good customer care. We have listened to several videos that help us understand what customer service is and the importance of customer care. And we have learned the difference between customer service and customer experience. So as we progress through all the other modules in the customer service training, I want us to have this as our backbone. So to help us know how to treat the customers properly and be able to understand more content in customer service training. Congratulations! You have completed the first part of the customer service module. After this module, we'll go ahead and move on to the principles of customer service. I hope you've enjoyed the video and the tutorial and hope to see you in the next one. Thank you.